Good morning and welcome to everyone on the call. I have a few remarks before Paul Johnston reviews financial information, followed by Brandon Taylor, who will discuss operational highlights during fiscal 2023, and then we'll wrap up the call by addressing investor questions. This is our third financial results conference call, and we are assuming that most attendees today are familiar with the company. However, for those who want more detail regarding our history and progress to date, please view our Q2 2023 conference call, the link for which is accessible on the OneSoft website. Click on the investor heading, then on AGM and financial info, then Q2 earnings call as shown in this slide. I want to start by summarizing OneSoft's technology, solutions, and position in the current marketplace. OneSoft develops and markets SaaS solutions that ingest, align, and analyze big data using machine learning, data science, and cloud computing to increase operational efficiencies and reduce oil and gas pipeline failures through better data management. We have now compiled what we believe may be the largest data lake of pipeline, operational, and integrity management data that includes data collected by pipeline operators over the past few decades. Our data lake contains detailed information associated with about 150,000 miles of pipelines operated by 15 of our major customers who manage 20 pipeline operations. Our solution has been strongly validated by many of the most progressive North American and global pipeline companies, including two of the industry's 5 super majors. Our customers have typically undergone extensive 1 to 3 year validation projects before committing to multi-year subscriptions to use our SIM data platform, and their experience has helped us to gain traction to become the next generation de facto standard cloud solution for oil and gas pipeline operations. We have customers in the United States, Canada, and Australia, and are pursuing sales opportunities in several regions globally, including South America, EMEA, and Asia. Our solutions assist oil and gas pipeline operators to optimize integrity management of their pipeline assets and to automate many of the functions that they must carry out to manage and maintain regulatory compliance in operating their businesses and assets, to increase operating efficiencies and safety, and to reduce operating costs and incidents of pipeline failures. OneSoft has first mover advantage and a significant competitive moat regarding our technology and solutions, in that we are the first company worldwide to have developed and commercialized a born-in-the-cloud solution that uses machine learning and data science to analyze big data, which assists oil and gas operators to achieve their objective of 0 pipeline failures. Regarding competition for our solutions today, this is mostly legacy systems and processes that essentially depend on Excel spreadsheets to retain and analyze data. Our biggest sales challenge today is the reluctance for change management, which is typically disruptive as legacy integrity and data management systems and processes that have been used for decades are replaced with modern machine learning and data science applications. From management's perspective, fiscal 2023 progressed very nicely in accordance with our objectives and expectations. So we met the guidance we published in January of 2023. Revenue exceeded 10 million, representing 50% year-over-year revenue growth for the second consecutive year. Adjusted EBITDA, a non-GAAP measure that we define as earnings before interest, tax, stock-based comp, depreciation, and amortization, improved by 1.9 million year over year, from a loss of $2 million in fiscal 2022 to a near break-even loss of $111,000 in fiscal 2023. We also saw a significant $1.7 million swing in cash and cash equivalents year over year, wherein cash increased by $500,000 in fiscal 2023 compared to the decrease of $1.2 million in 2022. From a corporate perspective, we took steps to implement succession plans for the board of directors, as we disclosed last year, by adding a new independent director. We continue to present at various online and in-person shareholder events to promote our company and progress. And we also explored alternatives to progress value creation for shareholders, including potential scenarios to accelerate business development and revenue growth through both organic and M&A strategies. We are pleased that OneSoft was recognized by the TSX Venture Exchange as one of the top 10 performers driving growth across the technology sector in 2023. OSS share price increased by about 72% from December 22 to December 23. This chart shows the evolution of data miles being ingested into the company's SIM platform, which is key to understanding the company's revenue growth under its SaaS recurring revenue business model. The first line in the table shows the aggregate miles of pipeline operated by our customers who have entered into SaaS agreements. The second line in the table and the top blue line in the graph shows the piggable miles for which customers will ingest data into SIM. The third line in the table, the bottom green line in the graph, shows the piggable miles for which data has been ingested into SIM and generated revenues. The fourth line in the table shows the percentage of data miles for which any revenue was generated. And this also provides a glimpse into revenue that we expect will occur in future periods. The fifth line in the table shows the estimated SIM SaaS revenue based on a per data mile subscription basis. These figures exclude service and other revenue. We anticipate that our annualized data mile revenue, which started at about $100 per data mile in 2017, will continue to increase as we add more SaaS modules that our customers require to optimize their operations. The difference between the blue and green lines represents the future revenue opportunity from current SaaS contracts that is expected to occur as more data is loaded into SIM by customers. To put OneSoft's market share and opportunities into perspective, 260,000 miles operated by our customers represents about 9% of the total oil and gas pipelines in the USA today, and 135,000 SaaS subscription miles represent about 21% of the piggable miles in the USA today. I also want to note that the US oil and gas pipeline infrastructure represents approximately 60% of these assets that exist globally, and it is our belief that SIM has global opportunity. I will now pass the call to Paul Johnston, OneSoft CFO, to review the company's Q4 and fiscal 2023 financial information. Paul?
Thank you, Dwayne. I am Paul Johnston, and I am OneSoft's CFO. I will present the financial results for Q4 and the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2023. All figures reported today are in Canadian dollars. I wish to highlight the progress OneSoft has made in growing revenues over the past 7.5 years. This chart illustrates revenue increasing sequentially quarter over quarter. We're extremely proud that our SIM solution and IAM operations have produced a compound annual growth rate of 43.5% over the last 7.5 years, and by 51% in fiscal 23 over fiscal 22. The majority of our revenue is annual recurring revenue, or ARR. In the last 2 years, ARR has been 79% and 83% of total revenue. This is due to our customers signing multi-year contracts with us, which generally have terms 3 years or longer, and due to near zero churn in our customer base. In Q4 2023, revenue was $2.9 million, and it increased by $732,000 or 33.4% over Q4 2022. The addition of new SIM customers and by existing customers expanding their use of SIM drove $670,000 of the increase. IM operations revenue also grew, increasing by $54,000. Gross profit increased by $694,000 or 44%. The increase was due to the higher sales volume, which generated $523,000 of additional gross profit. A moderation in direct costs provided a further $171,000 of gross profit and allowed the gross margin to increase to 77% from 71%. Operating expenses, net of cost capitalized, increased by $140,000. The company has increased the number of staff since last year, and wage increases have been selectively granted. Marketing expenses increased $70,000 quarter over quarter. General and administrative costs were unchanged from Q4 last year. Software development costs declined in the quarter due to staff being highly engaged with functionality requirements requested by existing customers and the implementation of SIM with a large new customer. Despite this, further progress was made on our risk, crack management, bending strain, and external corrosion SIM modules. Other expenses increased $205,000. In September, the company awarded 2,729,000 restricted share units to selected staff to ensure staff retention and further link employee productivity and innovation to shareholder value. This grant added $210,000 in additional stock-based compensation cost and was the largest single driver causing other expenses to rise. Due to the much higher sales revenue, the gross profit increase of $694,000 and more moderate increases in expenses and other expense, the company reduced its quarterly loss by $349,000 from $624,000 in Q4 2022 to $275,000 in Q4 2023. I now direct my remarks to the financial results for the year ended December 31st, 2023. Revenue for the year increased by 51% or $3.5 million from $6.9 million last year to $10.4 million this year. The addition of new customers and greater use of SIM by existing customers generated $2.4 million of the increase. Revenue from the IM operations increased by $785,000 as it was acquired on June 30th, 2022, resulting in 6 months of revenue being included last year and 12 months of revenue this year. More favorable foreign exchange rates added another $320,000. Gross profit increased by 60% to $7.8 million from $4.9 million this period last year, driven by the higher sales volume and proportionally reduced direct costs. The gross margin rose to 75% of sales from 71% last year. Operating expenses increased by $954,000 or 13.5%. Salaries and employee benefits were higher due to an increase in staff complement, salary increases, and higher accruals for year-end incentives. Marketing expenses increased due to more production trials and benefit analysis being conducted, and higher sales travel expense promoting our products to potential customers. Higher accruals for professional fees for the annual audit and related issues caused G&A expenses to rise. Expenses capitalized as software development decreased by $168,000 in 2023 as staff were engaged developing software enhancements for our existing customers, implementing a large new customer, and that 2 new products having completed their development in earlier periods. Other expenses increased by $367,000 or 45%. The aforementioned grant of restricted share units and other grants caused stock compensation to increase by $310,000. This was the largest contributor to expense increase in this group. The net loss decreased by 54% to $1.4 million from $3 million last year. The higher sales revenue and gross profit were the primary factors causing the reduction in the net loss. On this slide, we're showing our adjusted EBITDA. Many people like to use adjusted EBITDA as a proxy for a company's ability to generate cash. In Q4 2023, the company generated positive EBITDA of $162,700 as compared to negative EBITDA in the comparative period of $744,000. In fiscal 2023, the company's negative EBITDA was $111,000, an improvement of $1,847,000 from the negative EBITDA in 2022 of $1,959,000. More on cash flow a little later in this presentation. Looking at our statement of financial position, cash was $462,000 higher this year than last year. Trade accounts receivable continue to be collected promptly. Prepaid expenses, which are primarily for marketing purposes in 2024, also rose slightly. The company's only debt was the acquisition price payable of $235,000 as at year end. This will be paid in 2 equal installments on June 2024 and June 2025. Working capital at year end was $1,522,000 versus $1,429,000 as at December 31st, 2022. The company believes its cash of $4.9 million and expected future cash receipts are sufficient to finance company operations, and there will be no need to incur additional financing unless a special situation, such as an acquisition or merger opportunity, were to arise. This page is a summarization of the company's cash flow in 2023 and 2022. We first point out the large amount of non-cash expenses recorded in both years, and you can read the composition of those values. On the next line, the company generated cash from its operating assets and liabilities. In 2023, it increased the cash it had invested in accounts receivable and prepaid expenses, and it also increased the balances of or borrowings from its accounts payable and deferred revenue. In 2023, these 4 items combined to generate cash of $514,000. The cash generated from operating activities is the sum of these items. In fiscal 2023, cash from operating activities was positive $538,000, an improvement from fiscal 2022 of $1.4 million. Next, we review investing activities. In fiscal 2023, investing activities consumed cash of $420,000, primarily consisting of $223,000 being invested into new software functionality and $188,000 in payments to reduce the debt owed on the acquisition of IM Operations. In 2023, financing activities generated $338,000. This was due to employees exercising stock options to acquire $711,000 shares of the company. In total, the company generated cash flow of $455,000 in fiscal 2023. This was in sharp contrast to fiscal 2022, when the company consumed $1.2 million, an improvement in cash generation of $1.6 million. We now move to reviewing the guidance we provided for our company in 2023. We presented guidance in January 2023 that revenue of $10.1 million would be realized in 2023. That value was exceeded in fiscal 2023, in which $10,392,000 of revenue was recorded. The guidance value for the net loss for 2023 was $1,297,000. The company's net loss in 2023 was actually $1,367,000, which we would suggest is very close to the 2023 guidance value. Lastly, the guidance value for adjusted EBITDA was a loss of $28,000. The actual result was a loss of $111,000, which, while more than predicted, is a value we believe is reasonably close to the guidance value. We would also point out that cash at the end of the 2023 was $4,854,000, which exceeded the 2023 guidance value for cash of $4,040,000. Looking ahead to 2024, guidance is the recording of $15 million to $16 million in revenue, a net loss of $435,000 to $178,000, and adjusted EBITDA of positive $1,650,000 to $1,900,000. We look forward to reporting on our progress on achieving those values in our first quarter reports for 2024, which will be released in May 2024. Please refer to our fiscal 2023 financial statements, management discussion and analysis, and annual information form published on SEDAR+ for more information. This concludes my review of the financial results. I will now turn the meeting over to Brandon Taylor, President and COO of OneSoft, for operational remarks.
Thanks, Paul. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for taking the time. I'd like to give everyone a general update on operations. Fiscal 2023 was another good year for OneSoft, and we feel the business is executing well against our objectives. This slide Dwayne showed previously and discussed, but I'd like to go into it a little more detailed. With one of the key metrics we consider to measure progress is the number of pipelines under subscription. As a reminder, the U.S. has about 2.7 million miles of oil and gas pipelines, of which about 642,000 are piggable, meaning that they can accommodate those inline inspection tools that collect large amounts of data points that provide some clue to the integrity of the pipeline. We now have over 135,000, it's about 21% of the piggable miles in the US under multi-year subscriptions, wherein that pig data is ingested and managed by our SIM platform. And again, SIM stands for Cognitive Integrity Management. These piggable miles represent the foundational data set that was initially developed and we built in SIM, and which resulted in the addition of our very first customers. We expected the miles to be higher at end of year, but some of the deals that we expected to close last year have been delayed. In 2023, we added another reporting metric, and that's the number of pipeline miles operated by our customers in aggregate. This figure increased by 95,000 miles during 2023 to 261,000 at the year end, and that's up 57%. This increase came from the addition of a large customer and through acquisitions, this is an important point, of other pipeline operators that our current customers made during 2023. So our customers then took and onboarded those miles into their version of SIM. 261,000 miles represent about 9.7 of the estimated 2.7 miles of all the oil and gas pipelines in the US. And consideration of that total rather than just the piggable miles is important because the new modules that we're in process of developing and in private previews and commercializing, including internal and external corrosion, risk, crack, and geohazard strain, that increases our TAM just beyond the piggable miles to more segments of that 2.7 million miles of pipeline assets in the US and more globally. We also signed a multi-year agreement with a multinational pipeline and energy company with over 70,000 miles of liquid and gas pipelines situated throughout Canada and the US, of which approximately 25% is under SaaS subscription. Our average annualized revenue generated per mile, the bottom line, over the 9 months was consistent at approximately $136 Canadian dollars, up significantly from the 100 per data mile we started it with in 2017. And as we build new modules and add them, we anticipate this number to continue to increase into the future. On the next slide, I'd like to everyone, we'll cover some of the fine points here, but to review our fiscal 2020 operational update section we published in the MD&A for more information, and there's a lot of detail in there, but want to highlight kind of what these points in this presentation point. So in October, the company hosted its first annual user group event at the Microsoft Technology Center in Houston. This was our first inaugural event. Based on customer feedback, management believes that customers are highly referenceable and that the peer-to-peer positive comments in the pipeline integrity community are highly supportive of OneSoft's reputation and business. We believe there's a very good probability that our customer retention will continue to be near 100% unless the OneBridge customer is acquired by another pipeline operator who mandates adoption of its own integrity management processes. As of the date of this report, we know of no customer that intends to stop using our solutions. We are optimistic that new functionality modules that integrate with SIM, including internal corrosion, external corrosion, crack management, probabilistic risk management, and geohazard strain management will be embraced by current and future customers. Certain customers have already added internal corrosion to their annual SaaS renewal purchase orders, and others have engaged as private preview users of the modules still under development. Our optimism is bolstered by expression of interest from customers and from the formalized product steering committee that we initiated in October at our user group event. And this committee is comprised of senior industry personnel who are typically at the VP or Director of Integrity level, control basically the associated budget within integrity management within these customers. We are pleased with the continued evolution of our internal operational processes that occurred during fiscal 23, including those that we really optimized efficiencies pertaining to sales and marketing, client support, product development, and financial and corporate objectives. Sales and marketing, customer support materials and processes have been organized to document and share that knowledge as we grow, improve operational and cost efficiency. Our sales team has never been busier on new leads. New marketing software was implemented in 23 to capture data that assists our employees to better understand and serve our stakeholders, including metrics regarding website visits, unique contacts, log views, email outreach, gated downloads, that track for visitors who view white paper and informational videos posted on our website. The company sales, development, and customer support teams were reorganized in fiscal 2023 to support additional marketing and sales tactics in fiscal 24. Using new and existing success plan or customer success plans and strategic prospect playbooks. So generally, the company attended several key oil and gas industry trade shows. We do that year over year. We exhibit at these events during the ones that we exhibited at during 2023 included PPIM, or the Pipeline Pigging and Integrity Management Conference in Houston, American Gas Association, the AGA Conference and Biennial Exposition, and then the Pipeline Technology Conference in Berlin, which we're repeating, and the annual BAMP Pipeline Conference. We participated in industry educational events where the company personnel presented white paper. Our data science team and our client services team and product management create and write papers that we present at these conferences on the learnings that we've learned through the data that's in our platform. Additionally, OneBridge hosted its first annual user group conference, which I just talked about, and the Microsoft team helped. That really focused. We're anticipating that probably double the size of that this coming fiscal year. OneBridge benefits from being kind of a managed partner at Microsoft, which facilitates kind of collaboration with the Microsoft oil and gas sales field team to pursue joint sales opportunities on our platform that basically drives the Microsoft Azure cloud platform and adoption and consumption. Use of SIM platform by customers and revenues increased essentially in accordance with management's expectations during fiscal 23. Most importantly, OneBridge onboarded 5 additional pipeline operators during fiscal 23 who became SIM customers due to the direct sales efforts or after being acquired by our existing SIM customers. Some customers expanded their use of SIM platform to include internal corrosion and other new functionality modules, a trend we believe will generate additional revenue, as stated earlier, in future periods. At December and year-end, the company's development team, just to give some stats, consisted of 21 employees and a 7-person offshore team at the end of the fiscal year. This team released 6 major SIM platform updates during the year that involved all of our product lines: internal corrosion, external corrosion, crack, risk, and geohazards. Involved various data science and machine learning projects and assisted customer service and implementation teams to onboard new pipeline operators. In 23, this team also addressed 222 user stories. These were basically discrete components of work related to the solution across all of our modules. 180 bugs, 2,500 commits from customers, and upgraded the SIM platform to the latest version of .NET, which is the latest standard 6 on the platform. The company's client services team addressed 17 projects during fiscal 23, primarily involving 6 customers and 5 core platform implementations, collectively involving 15 divisional operators and more than 700 pipeline systems. Remembering that our customers typically will load their entire pipeline system, so that's 700 of those pipeline systems within our solution. The projects, just to give a sense, included work associated with integrity management and compliance, GIS, or the Geographical Information System integration to their existing GIS system, loading of more of 3,700 new ILI assessments. These are these inline inspection tool runs, the PIG runs, and 67 million new anomalies into SIM, migrating data from legacy systems, integrating with various customer software applications, and training. One customer specifically presented an atypical challenge requiring more than 18,000 miles of pipeline to be ingested in SIM, going live with the platform within a 6-month period, which was essentially completed in early 2024. They shut off their legacy system in December and then went live in 2024 with our solution. And that involved customizing various integrations to other in-house or internal system, what they call system of records, between our solution and their system of records. What really we're learning as we go through these is that we're getting better and faster at onboarding new customers, which has been an ongoing goal for management as objectives within the operational side of the business. The company's employee roster continued to increase with 20 new hires completed during the past 20 months. and employee retention remains very high. Development staff trained in new Microsoft technologies and systems during fiscal 23, and this together with our new customer additions result in the company earning the Microsoft Solutions Partner designation of Digital and App Innovation. It's a Microsoft partner, you're slotted in different designations. That allows us or provides us access to Microsoft's accelerated support, discounted for free, or free, and then we get a bunch of internal rights, user rights across a whole bunch of Microsoft products, including Microsoft Teams, their whole Office, 365, Azure credits, etc. The company is super proud that in fiscal 23, we were recertified for the second year in a row by an independent audit on our SOC 2 Type 2 audit. It was performed by a third-party CPA firm because our solutions store customer data in the cloud, specifically in a lot of cases, national infrastructure. Management believes it's mandatory to demonstrate its commitment to security by seeking the SOC 2 Type 2 certification, and provides assurances to company stakeholders their information security measures can withstand the challenging requirements of today's cloud computing environments. The next slide I want to talk about is we've published this quite a few years ago. We've now spent time on our TAM estimates. We updated it in 2023, and we based this on and this is ever evolving data within industry. Pipeline operators sell assets, buy new assets, deactivate assets. All of that happens through time. These numbers are based on PHMSA 2022 published data, and information was researched and compiled to assist us to determine kind of our go-forward strategies. If you look at the table below, we resorted it in priority based on our solutions that we've released into market and have greater intel and knowledge of kind of where we believe customer adoption is going to come from. For example, we have very good insights, obviously, in Core SIM, and we're starting to build our intelligence around internal corrosion that went out, that has been publicly generally available, and crack just got released. So we still have these flagged as developed early, even though we have specifically started gathering ROI type variables and cost drivers at operators. As we start getting adoption with customers, we'll continue to learn more. We'll keep evolving our ROI models and basically do that as we go down this list. Now, I caution attendees that these TAM figures are not meant to project company revenues. Rather, they represent our estimates of 100% of the potential market opportunities for various SaaS product and modules listed. And we continue to learn more as we engage with our customers on where their priorities are related to budget and the problems that we're trying to solve for them. So with all TAM estimates, this is kind of a point in time estimate. And while we'll learn much since we published those years ago, we'll continue to learn more as we release solutions into each of these. And really what we'll focus on specifically is the applicable mileage. This is the applicable mileage column and the rates. So those two we'll keep monitoring, with the objective and the hope that as we get more learnings and we understand more white space out here, that we can increase both of those through the solutions that we release into the market. The last slide I want to go over here is OneSoft's AI and ML roadmap. We've showed this in our last quarterly update. Just want to reiterate some thoughts as this is continuing to increase the interest of all stakeholders. We continue to evolve our ML capabilities as part of our technologies. We've done service projects for customers where we're actually using ML models against data that we have to help our customers. We believe that OneSoft has one of, if not the largest collection of industry data that will support AI in the future. We continue to expand our types of data that we bring into the platform. This coupled with the capability of our SIM platform to ingest and align that vendor agnostic data sets, it's really regardless of who collects that data, gives us a unique advantage to prevail in what we believe will become an upcoming AI technology race for industry at some point in the future. What OneSoft has already done in this regard is pretty unique, and our customers continue to work very closely with us to share data that we can use to extract new learnings. We call that shared learning, and best practices with everyone who uses our solution. I'd like to thank you for attending today's webinar, and I'll now hand it back to Dwayne to wrap up the meeting.
Okay, thanks, Brandon. So looking ahead, we believe that OneSoft is very well positioned for continued success with really no boulders on the hill that are evident today. We have a strong balance sheet and all the cash we need to execute our business plans as currently envisioned, and no debt other than the small amount that arose from the acquisition we did in mid-2022. We believe we have the leading solution in the market. Hallmark Fortune 50, 100, and 500 customers who have strongly validated it, and a strong pipeline of potential new customers who we believe will adopt our solution in future periods. So with this, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to tune in today and invite anyone with questions to raise them now or by email at your convenience. I'll now pass the call back to the operator to start the Q&A session.